Guys, I'm going to make a video showing you a couple simple modifications you can do to your Corvette if you have one. One of the things I'm going to have done to the car is underneath the hood, I'm going to put the GM intake in the car. It's cold air intake. It'll end up going right there. Now I can do it myself, but I've chosen not to, and that's because if you have it done by a certified GM technician, the factory warranty is not void. I don't think they would really void it if you did it yourself, but I really don't want to take chances with a brand new car, so I'm going to bring it there. Another thing that you guys can do to your car is in the back, right here in the corner, that's where the rear hatch lights go, there and right here. Now I've already taken them out and I'm going to replace them with LED lights. They're very simple to get out, and these are the lights that I'm going to use. I'm also going to replace the tag lights. I've already taken them apart and the lights are out. They're actually very simple to replace. All you have to do to take the light out is this section right here. You just twist it and then you stick the light in. So I'll show you guys that in a second. But getting back to the cargo lights, the one thing you got to be careful of when you do this, right here, if you guys can see this tab right here, you really need to press down on that when you're pulling the housing out. I was having trouble, and then I realized that that is what's holding it in. So if you just try to pull this out of here, it's not going to work. You have to just take this little tab right here and push it in. I use a small screwdriver. See how it moves? And that's what locks it into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those changes, show you what it looks like, and then one other change that I'm going to do is in here on the steering wheel. The car has what's called rev matching. Right there. These are the Rev Match Paddles. I ordered them in red, and I'm going to replace them. I'll go over a few things with you guys on that. I'm just going to replace them and show you everything that I did. All these towels are here just to protect the leather, but I'm going to point out a few different things that I've done after I replace them. It's a very simple process, and I think it's going to look great when it's done. So anyway, I'm going to do some changes, and I'll be back in a second. To the tools that I was using to do all this work. These are trim tools, and they're plastic tools so you won't scratch your car. These are the paddles for the rev matching, and you can see they're red, like I was saying before, as opposed to the black ones that are in the car. And here, I'll show you guys the part numbers in case you decide that you want to get them. These are the part numbers. One for the left, one for the right. And you can see these are genuine GM parts. This is a Torx. Well, there's a whole bunch of bits there, but we're going to use a Torx for when we take the screws out that hold the Rev Match paddles in. We'll go over that in a little while. These screwdrivers here, we'll go over those as well. Any of these screwdrivers will be fine for what we're going to do, but you'll see why I chose those when we start working on the steering wheel. And again, these are the LEDs that I chose. And here's the finished product with the LEDs installed in the cargo area. You can see how much brighter it is than the stock lights. And back here, this is all stuff that came with the car. This, however, is the intake system, which I will be installing, like I was saying earlier. Did not come with the car, but it's going in the car. It says that you'll get 11 horsepower more out of the Z06, 17 horsepower more out of a ZR1. And these are also parts that came with the car for when you take the car on the track. Now, I don't plan to track this car that much. If I do, I might put them on, but for the most part I'm not going to. These parts right here are for brake cooling, and the car is so low that it cannot be put on for regular driving. They probably will get ripped off. So that's why they're not on the car. And again, here's another view of the light. So that's the cargo area. And they definitely make a big difference over the regular lights that are in there. I like it already. So I'll be back in a second after I do the license plate. Alright guys, I wanted to show you the license plate lights, how they work. If you look in here, it might be a little bit hard to see, but there's some grooves right here and right here. Once you put the light in, all you have to do is just twist this and then pop it back into the bracket where it holds it, and you're done. This is what it looks like off the car. The light goes right here, and then all you do is slide this back on and twist, and then pop it back up. Guys, I'm going to show you what the lights look like outside the car before I put them in. There you go, and you can see how bright they are. They do a great job of lighting things up, and once we put these on, it'll still be pretty bright, obviously not as bright, but all you do is you stick the light right in there, and like I said before, you're just going to twist this. You can probably see the grooves better now with the extra light. Nice and bright. I'm also going to show you guys how you take the light covers off. It's really simple. You take your trim tool, and right underneath here, you slide your trim tool right into that section there, and you pop down. Now, I'm not going to obviously do it because one hand is holding the camera, the other hand is holding the trim tool, but it's very simple. Once you stick it in, there, actually, it just popped out right there. So all you have to do is just pull it down. And then to put it back in, it just clips back in. It's the same thing with the lights inside. You take your trim tool, put it right in the section. You can kind of see there's some grooves right there. You put it right in there and you just pop it out. They come right out and then they pop right back in. Alright, so we're going to move over to the steering wheel now. We're inside the car now, and the steering wheel, as you can tell, I've got towels around it just to protect it because I took it apart the other day just to see how to do it. Now, what I recommend when you guys do this, if you decide to do this, is take your time. Don't go fast. And I'm going to point out some little do's and don'ts that I did to make it easier, because this right here, this is the airbag, okay? It's also the horn. You are going to honk your horn probably about 10-15 times every time you're moving to try to get this out. And it's going to seem like it doesn't want to come out. It doesn't if you do it the wrong way. I've watched a bunch of videos on the internet, and there's one secret that nobody tells you, and I'm going to tell you guys that because it's going to make your life a lot easier if you're going to decide to do this modification. In the back of the car, or excuse me, the steering wheel, you're going to see a little hole. I got a light over here so you can kind of see it right there. See that hole? That hole is how you release the airbag. There's also one on the left side of the steering wheel. Now here's the secret. If you're going to do this, what I'm going to tell you guys to do is do the right side first. You're going to take just a screwdriver and stick it in that hole, and you're going to hear clicking. Take your time, and once you start moving the airbag a little bit, it'll start to pop on the right side. Then you slide your screwdriver into the left side, right there. It goes right in. Now there's no resistance now because the airbag is released. But you slide it in and you will actually be touching the airbag. So now you take your time, and what will happen is the airbag will come out. Now it doesn't go very far, okay? This is about as far as it's going to go because you've got wires behind it. Now I'm going to move the towel so you guys can see what's behind the steering wheel, okay? Now what you're looking for are 2 Torx screws. There's one right there, and another one right there. That's what's holding the Rev Match in. All you have to do is unscrew those. This will come out, and there's a wire right here that attaches to the Rev Match paddle. You take the wire off, put the Rev Match paddle back in, and tighten your Torx again. All right? Now, one of the things I'm going to warn you guys against, I was very, very careful with this. I took a lot of time doing it. Right here on the edge, this leather is going to get caught on here when you pull it out, on this section right here. This is one piece, and you can see this whole thing moves. All right, that's one piece. Here's your airbag. So what I'm going to warn you guys against is just be careful with this leather right here. And when you remove this bracket, this can come out. So take your time, go very slowly. I actually used this screwdriver to hold it in place so it didn't tear the leather. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these Rev Match paddles off. We're going to put the red ones on, and I'll be back with you when it's done. I wanted to give you guys a little before and after. This is the new Rev Match paddle. That's the old one. So here's what the steering wheel looks like right now, and here's what it's gonna look like. Now it's got the Z06 down here in red. So I think that this Rev Match paddle is going to be a nice little complement to this down here. Here's kind of an idea of what it'll look like when it's installed. Alright guys, here we go. We've got one in, and the other one's going to go in a second. I just wanted to show you what it would look like so you get an idea of what they look like together. The red is really going to pop out nice and give it a nice accent color. Now one thing that I'm doing is I'm putting a towel right on top of this bracket when I use my Torx wrench because I don't want to scratch anything. This bracket moves just enough so that you can get your screwdriver in there to turn that Torx screw right there. Don't over tighten it either. Just be gentle with it. Again guys, what I'm telling you is working great for me. It's just taking my time. So that's my recommendation to you. I think the Rev Match paddles really do stand out nicely, especially they accent the Z06 and the Corvette flag. Really nice on the steering wheel. And these are just some real simple things that you guys can do to your car, and it doesn't cost that much money. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.